Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. So now, let's start. What is the deadline for completion of insolvency resolution process as per the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code regulations? So as per the regulations of IBBI, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, the overall deadline for the completion of insolvency resolution process is 330 days. Which Indian newspaper that was being published in US for 50 years has ceased its printed edition? So right answer is India Abroad. So it has stopped its printed edition due to coronavirus pandemic, and this newspaper was founded by Indian American publisher Mr. Gopal Raju, and it was founded in year 1970. Which global financial institution is to invest $100 million equivalent in the fund of funds of NIIF, that is National Investment and Infrastructure Fund? So right answer is Asian Development Bank. So ADB is going to invest into NIIF. Even AIIB is the investor in this NIIF. Which space company has received the contract of NASA to ferry cargo and supplies to the NASA's proposed space station on Moon? Right answer is SpaceX. So recently, NASA has selected a new space capsule from SpaceX for its space station on Moon. SpaceX is a company owned by Mr. Elon Musk. Which Indian state celebrated its statehood day on 30th of March? Right answer is Rajasthan. The state of Rajasthan came into existence on 30th of March in 1949. As per the recent report of S&P Global Ratings, what is the GDP growth rate of India? So, right answer is 3.5%. The previous estimation was 5.2, but now it has been reduced to 3.5% because of this COVID-19. According to the recent announcement from Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, which country has assured uninterrupted supply of LPG to India? Right answer is Saudi Arabia. LPG stands for liquefied petroleum gas. Present Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas is Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, and recently Saudi Arabia has assured India of uninterrupted LPG supply. Which state government has launched a mobile application called Pragyam to issue e-passes for people involved in the essential services amid lockdown? So right answer is Jharkhand. So it is an Android based application of issue e-passes for the people during lockdown. In the context of measures taken to combat what is contact that was in news recently, so it is National Teleconsultation Center. Therefore, it is a telemedicine hub, and recently it was launched by Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare Dr. Harshvardhan. Which Indian public sector bank unveiled a new logo ahead of its merger with Union Bank of India and Oriental Bank of Commerce? So right answer is PNB. So PNB has unveiled new logo ahead of its merger with UBI and OBC. What is the new limit for investment of FPI, that is foreign portfolio investors, in corporate bonds as per the notification of RBI? Right answer is 15%. So as per the recent notification of RBI, the limit of investment of foreign portfolio investors in corporate bond is hiked to 15% of outstanding stock. What is the limit of short-term crop loan for which subvention of 2% per annum is provided under interest subvention scheme? So right answer is rupee 3 lakhs. So under interest subvention scheme, a subvention of 2% per annum is provided for the short-term crop loan up to rupee 3 lakh per farmer. Insurance Australia General has sold its entire 26% stake held in which insurance company of India? Right answer is SBI General Insurance. So as per the notification from SBI, IAG, that is Insurance Australia General, has exited. IAG has sold its stakes. What is the GDP growth estimate of India for the financial year as per India rating? Right answer is 3.6%. So India rating is our domestic rating agency, and this IND-RA stands for India Ratings and Research. Cain Zamora, a Japanese personality who passed away recently, was associated to which field? So he was associated to entertainment. He was well-known comic actor of Japan, and recently he passed away due to COVID-19. Now, if we talk about Japan, International Olympic Committee shifted the Tokyo Olympics to July 2021. Now, in which country the headquarters of IOC is located? So, headquarters of IOC is located in Lausanne in Switzerland. If we talk about Olympics, so Summer Olympic Games are going to be in Tokyo. These were supposed to be in 2020, but now they have been postponed to 2021. According to the recent report from UNCTAD, which country along with China will not be affected by recession? Right answer is India. So recently UNCTAD, that is United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, released a report, the COVID-19 shock to developing countries. And as per this analysis, the world economy will go into recession this year except India and China. As per the World Cyber Protection Week survey by firm Acronis, what percentage of companies suffered data loss last year? Right answer is 42%. So this Acronis is a Switzerland-based company, and recently it released 2020 World Cyber Protection Week survey. The term of which Deputy Governor of RBI was extended for a period of 1 year recently? Right answer is Mr. BP Kanungo. So his term was extended and he has been reappointed as Deputy Governor for 1 year. Recently, Mr. Michael Patra was appointed as the Deputy Governor of RBI. The Department of Science and Technology has released ₹1 crore to a company named SCI Tech Park for manufacturing which product? Right answer is air purifier. So this SCI Tech Park is a Pune-based company, and this company is going to develop air purifier which are to be installed in hospitals. The 70th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and which country was celebrated on 1st of April? Right answer is China. So India and China have completed 70 years of diplomatic relationships. It is important to note that India was the first non-communist country in Asia to have diplomatic relations with PRC. PRC is People's Republic of China. It is the official name of China. The new rule of Center for expanding domicile to 15 years of residence or 7 years of study has been made for which Indian state or union territory? So it is for Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And as per the new rule, a person who has resided in Jammu and Kashmir for at least 15 years will be eligible to be a domicile of Union Territory. The NIA, that is National Investigation Agency, is to probe, that means to investigate, its first overseas case on the terrorist attack on a Gurudwara located in which country? So right answer is Afghanistan. So NIA is going to investigate the case of terrorist attack on a Gurudwara in Kabul in Afghanistan. What is the name of first indigenous testing kit for COVID-19 in India which was launched at Pune? So right answer is PathoDetect, and it has been designed by MyLab Discovery. This MyLab Discovery is a Pune-based institution, and this MyLab Discovery is headed by Meenal D. Phosle. As per the recent notification of RBI, what is the new deadline for exporters to realize their export proceeds for the exports made up to 31st of July? Right answer is 15 months. The previous time limit was 9 months, but because of this coronavirus, this time limit has been extended to 15 months. What is the name of initiative of Civil Aviation Ministry which aims to supply medical supplies across country? So the name of initiative is Lifeline Udan, and it is an initiative of Ministry of Civil Aviation to supply medical supplies during lockdown period. And the air carriers which are involved in this Lifeline Udan initiative are Air India, Alliance Air, Indian Air Force and Pawan Hans. What is the theme of 2020 World Autism Awareness Day? So the theme is the transition to adulthood. So every year on 2nd day of April, the World Autism Awareness Day is observed. What is the name of Nobel Prize-winning physicist known for his work on magnetism and superconductivity who passed away recently? Right answer is Mr. Philip Anderson. So Mr. Philip Anderson passed away recently in USA, and he was known for his work in the field of magnetism and superconductivity. As of April 2020, which country holds the presidency of United Nations Security Council? Right answer is Dominican Republic. It is important to note that the presidency of United Nations Security Council changes every month. So last month China was the president. This month, that means in April, Dominican Republic is the president. The government of India has recently set up cargo air bridge with which country to transport critical medical supplies? Right answer is China. So this air bridge uses regular cargo flights for transporting the critical medical supplies between India and China. What is the name of mobile application launched by the government of India to enable people to assess the risk of coronavirus infection? So the name of this app is Arogya Setu, and this app has been developed in a public-private partnership under the guidance of NIC's National Informatics Center, and it is under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. The United Nations Conference of Parties 26th Climate Change Summit, which has been postponed to 2021, was scheduled to be held in which city? So it was scheduled to be held in Glasgow, and now it has been postponed to 2021. COP stands for Conference of Parties, the 25th COP held in Spain in Madrid. The Union Agriculture Minister launched a new feature of National Agriculture Market platform amid the lockdown. Now the question is, when was this e-NAM launched in our country? So this was launched in 2016. So recently, new features of this e-NAM has been launched by the Union Agriculture Minister. It is important to note that this e-NAM platform was launched in 2016 as a nationwide electronic trade portal which links APMC of various states. So what is APMC? APMC is Agricultural Produce Market Committee. As per a recent survey, about 1/4 of Indians currently pay for the news. Which international organization conducted this survey? So this survey has been conducted by World Economic Forum. And as per this survey, 1/4 of the consumers in India pay for the news, but nearly 2/3 of the population are willing to pay for the news. Now, if we talk about World Economic Forum, the recent meeting of World Economic Forum held in Davos. Geeta Ramji, an Indian origin South African who recently passed away, was associated with which profession? So she was well-known virologist. Now, if we talk about virology, our National Institute of Virology was also in news. It is in Pune. The application called Neighborly, which was recently shut down, was initially launched by which major technology firm? Right answer is Google. So it was an app of Google and it will be completely closed in May 2020. Now Google was also in news as it is going to open its second cloud region in India in Delhi. According to the recent report of ADB, that is Asian Development Bank, what will be the growth rate of India in the current fiscal year? So as per ADB, the growth rate is going to be 4%. Recently, ADB released ADO, that is Asian Development Outlook. And as per this report, India is going to grow at 4%. The previous estimation was 5%. Which financial institution has granted $1 billion fund to India to strengthen its response in containing the COVID-19? So right answer is World Bank. World Bank has granted $1 billion fund to India, and this is the largest ever grant provided for India till date from the World Bank. And this fund will cover all the states and union territories, and it will be managed by NHM, that is National Health Mission, NCDC, that is National Center for Disease Control, and ICMR. ICMR stands for Indian Council of Medical Research. Tony Lewis, who devised DLS method, passed away recently. DLS is a mathematical formula associated with which game? So it is associated to cricket, and the full form of this DLS method is Duckworth-Lewis method. So it is a formula used to determine the winner in cricket games that are affected by bad weather. The 2021 World Games, which have been rescheduled to 2022, was initially planned to be held in which city? Right answer is Birmingham. So 2021 World Games was supposed to be in USA, and now they have been rescheduled to 2022. Why? Because this postponement was done to avoid clashing with Tokyo Olympics. Please note that recently Tokyo Olympics were also postponed and they are going to be in 2021. What is the name of hackathon supported by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Tech, which aims to find solutions for the overcoming COVID-19 pandemic? So the name of this hackathon is Hack the Crisis India, and it is supported by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Which Indian non-governmental organization won the prestigious US $1.5 million Skol Award for Social Entrepreneurship? So the name of this NGO is ARMAN. NGO stands for Non-Governmental Organization. So this NGO has been selected for its contribution towards maternal and child health sector in our country. After a lockdown due to COVID-19, what is the estimated growth rate of India in the current fiscal as per the recent report of Fitch Ratings? So as per Fitch Ratings, the estimated growth rate is going to be 2%. Previous estimation was 5.1%, but due to this lockdown, this growth projection was downgraded. Under Operation Sanjeevani, India has supplied essential medicines and food grains to which country? So right answer is Maldives. So recently, the Hercules aircraft of Indian Air Force recently delivered essential medicines and food grains to the Maldives as assistance to tackle the COVID-19. Kong Kong, Lian Lian, and Chen Chen are the recently released mascots of which international sporting event? So these are the mascots of Asian Games, and these are the mascots of 19th Asian Games, which are going to be in 2022 in China, and these are nicknamed as Smart Triplets. 3 incentive schemes worth Rs 40,000 crores, including PLI, EMC 2.0 and SPECS, which have been notified, are associated with which sector? So these schemes are associated with electronic manufacturing, and these schemes are incentive schemes to boost electronic manufacturing. Which division of Indian Railways deployed Doodh Duronto special trains to transport essential commodities during the lockdown period? Right answer is South Central Railway. So it is important to note that due to lockdown, passenger train services have been suspended till 14th of April. But this Doodh Duronto special train was started to transport essential commodities during lockdown. The International Day for Mine Awareness and Assistance in Mine Action is celebrated on which date every year? So it is celebrated on 4th of April, and it has been observed every year after a declaration by UNGA, that is United Nations General Assembly, in 2005. The National Health Authority, that is NHAI, has signed an agreement with ride-hailing app for transporting healthcare workers involved in the treatment. So, with which app this agreement has been signed? Right answer is Uber. So, recently NHAI has signed agreement with Uber for providing transport services to the healthcare workers involved in the treatment of COVID-19 patients. Which international organization adopted a resolution on COVID-19 titled Global Solidarity to Fight the Coronavirus Disease 2019? COVID-19. Right answer is United Nations. So it is a resolution of UN, and this resolution calls for intensified international cooperation to fight this pandemic. The Chief Minister of which Indian state has been conferred with the Hero to Animals Award by the animal rights body PETA India? Right answer is Odisha. That means Mr. Naveen Patnaik has been conferred Hero to Animals Award by PETA India. PETA stands for People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Aerobiosis Innovations, which has developed an affordable and emergency use ventilator called Jeevan Light, is an incubated startup of which institution? So, right answer is IIT Hyderabad. So, this is an incubated startup of IIT Hyderabad, and it has recently developed emergency use ventilator Jeevan Light. This ventilator can be operated by a battery, and therefore it can be deployed in the areas. The research center of which organization have developed full body disinfection chamber called PSE, that is Personal Sanitization Enclosure? Right answer is DRDO. So one of the laboratories of DRDO has designed this full body disinfection chamber, and it is called as PSC, that is Personal Sanitization Enclosure, and this has been developed by VRDE. Now what is VRDE? It is Vehicle Research Development Establishment, and it is a laboratory of DRDO. After the recent curbs on export of diagnostic kits by the Indian government, an exporter will have to get license from which authority for outbound shipments? Right answer is DZFT. So recently Government of India put limitations on export of diagnostic kits, and as per the notification by DZFT, an exporter will have to get license from DZFT for shipments which were allowed without restrictions earlier. According to recent announcement of Health Ministry, about 50 crore citizens will be eligible for free COVID-19 testing and treatment under which scheme? So COVID-19 is the name of disease caused by coronavirus, and approximately 50 crore citizens will be eligible for the free treatment and for free testing under Jan Arogya Yojana. Bronx Zoo, where a tiger was tested positive for this COVID-19 for the first time in the world, is located in which country? So it is a zoo in New York in USA, and the name of this tiger is Nadia. It is a female tiger. Which country, through its aid agency, has announced a grant of $2.9 million to India to help it tackle the effect of coronavirus pandemic? Answer is USA. So US aid of USA has announced a grant of 2.9 million US dollars to India to tackle the effect of COVID-19, and this assistance was announced by US Ambassador to India, Cain Zamora. For the first time in 2020, April 5 is observed as which day by United Nations? Right answer is International Day of Conscience. So this is first time and it is to be observed on 5th of April, and it was sponsored by the Prime Minister of Bahrain, and the headquarters of Gulf Cooperation Council is in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. The International Maritime Day is celebrated on 5th of April to commemorate the maiden voyage of which ship which was totally owned by India. Right answer is SS Loyalty. So the National Maritime Day is celebrated on 5th of April to commemorate the maiden voyage of first completely owned ship of Indians, and this ship was owned by Sindhya Steam Navigation Company. Kobe Bryant, along with 8 others, was selected to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. The museum cum Hall of Fame is located in which country? Right answer is US. So this museum is in USA, and Mr. Kobe Bryant was in news as he died away recently in a helicopter crash, and he was associated to basketball. The cabinet approved the temporary suspension of MPLAD Fund for how many years because of this coronavirus pandemic? So MPLAD stands for Members of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. So right answer is 2. So for 2 years this fund have been suspended, and therefore the amount of this MPLAD scheme will be moved to CFI. CFI stands for Consolidated Fund of India. The government has constituted an empowered committee to coordinate with the private sector, NGO and international organizations related to COVID-19. Now the question is, who is the chairperson of this empowered committee? So this empowered committee will be headed by Mr. Amitabh Kant, who is the CEO of Niti Aayog at present. So this empowered group is going to coordinate with private sector, non-governmental organizations and with the international organizations in the context of COVID-19. The highest ever highway construction by the NHAI, that is National Highways Authority of India, was achieved in which financial year? So recently NHAI announced the completion of construction of 3979 km of highways in the financial year 2019-20, and as per the official statement, this is the highest ever highway construction achieved in a financial year by NHAI. NHAI is under Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. India has received 1.7 lakh personal protection equipments donated by which country after opening the supply lines from abroad? Right answer is China. So this PPE is an important term for exam. PPE stands for personal protection equipment. So India recently received PPE coveralls which have been donated by China. Praveen Rao has been appointed as the new chairman of which industry body of India? Right answer is NASSCOM. So Mr. U.B. Praveen Rao is going to be the chairman of NASSCOM, while Rekha M. Menon is going to be the vice chairperson. Next question is, which port trust became the first state-owned port trust to invoke the clause of force majeure at the backdrop of coronavirus outbreak? So right answer is Kolkata Port Trust. Now what exactly is the meaning of this force majeure clause? This clause is invoked when firms are not able to meet the contractual commitments. That means they are not able to fulfill the contract obligations for the reasons beyond their control. Which day that is celebrated on 6th of April focus on the health benefits of participating in sporting and physical activity amid social distancing this year? So, right answer is International Day of Sport for Development and Peace, and it was observed on 6th of April. And this year, the United Nations announced a tagline for this day, and the tagline is, for the International Day of Sport this year, let's be active and healthy to beat the COVID-19. What is the tagline for World Health Day 2020? So, World Health Day is observed on 7th of April every year, and the tagline for World Health Day is support nurses and midwives, and it is celebrated by WHO. WHO was also in news as recently it gave the official name to the disease caused by coronavirus, and the name of this disease is COVID-19. Which Asian country has declared a state of emergency over coronavirus? Right answer is Japan. So recently, Japan has declared emergency. The Prime Minister of Japan is Shinzo Abe. Japan was also in news as Japan was the host of 2020 Summer Olympic Games, and these games were supposed to be in Tokyo in Japan, and recently they were postponed to 2021. Which firm has bagged the order from Indian Army to set up Unified Network Management System? Right answer is L&T, that is Larsen and Toubro. The present Chief of Indian Army is General Manoj Mukund Narwane. Recently, Indian Army was in news as it launched Operation Namaste to provide support during this coronavirus pandemic. Thank you, and that's all for the day.